A company is only as good as its workforce. The Lagos State government has taken these words to heart to ensure its public servants are well motivated and challenging in the right direction, as well as the state government. The state's public service is ensuring all public servants are celebrated and awarded in the past 1 week to keep them all in the right frame of mind. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This is Lagos. The Lagos State government has been on a week-long celebration for public servants across the state. The Public Service Week culminates in this award ceremony to recognize outstanding staff within various ministries over the past year. The state's head of service urged recipients and other staff to embrace technology to enhance their delivery, especially in an ever-changing world, as the domestic violence units also advocates for appropriate behavior among public servants.
The theme of this year's celebration is titled Building the Africa We Want through Embracing an Ethical Culture that underpins purpose-driven leadership in the context of a crisis. As I congratulate all our youth, I urge you not to relent or rest on your oars, but rather encourage you to continue to exhibit the high sense of responsibility, diligence, commitment to duty, and unalloyed loyalty for which you will be honored today.
Most people confuse jealousy with love. Jealousy is not love. When you start accusing me of being unfaithful or flirting with other people or people that you've known.
Some award recipients are elated for the week-long celebration, describing it as recognition of all staff in the state's public service deserve.
So once you are given a job to do, just do it conscientiously. Make sure the people feel the impact of your performance. Even when the award is not an award in itself, it brings back memories of what we have done.
So Lagos State is peculiar in that wherever one is serving, recognition is given, whether in whatever category. You can see various categories, various prizes.
The disparaging age gap in public servants is, however, a cause for concern for some. They identify areas the state and federal governments can further encourage young school leavers to embrace public service.
When a worker goes out of his house to the place of work, the only thing that he wants to know is that how much will it take home at the end of the month. So if the Lagos State public workers can be given or equated to those who are working in the multinational companies, I think it will go a long way.
Those gathered here are calling for the annual week-long celebration to be sustained in order to improve interministerial synergy. The events of recent months have brought a lot of untold hardship on residents of the state. The case is even worse for those struck by adversity. The state government is, however, identifying some of those in critical need to provide enumeration for them. Dr. Taiwo is a medical practitioner who is unable to afford the medical expenses of his wife. He is one of those here being gifted by the state's Ministry for Civic Engagement.
She was diagnosed for fibroid, degenerated, also tuber blockage, left side of the fallopian tube, both right, left side. So we have spent a lot to medical examination, all the tests. We got to some stage, I was like, date was given for the myotome to be carried out. I mean the surgery to be carried out. So we're looking for the little I tried. So thank God today that we are able to have a smile on our face. 2013 I lost my son. 2016 I lost my mom. That's right. 2018 I lost one of my sons again, 41 years old. So then I've been suffering.
Representatives of the state governor are, however, calling for well-meaning residents to do their part in assisting others, assuring that this will only eliminate desperation and, in some cases, criminality.
We also have a duty to give special attention to the needs of people with special challenges, either as a result of physical disability or difficult economic situation that have eroded their capacity to provide for their basic needs. We will continue to show love, empathy, and identify with the plight of the less privileged. We also encourage more well-meaning individuals and corporate organizations to tow this path as caring for the less privileged within the society should be a collective responsibility.
This program is in its second installment as the state government hopes to help put a smile on the faces of the hopeless. Heads of industries, political leaders, traditional and religious leaders are gathered here to deliberate on the current rate of corruption and crime in the country. Speakers identify a need to retrace steps to the values once held dear, which help to caution excesses.
Nationalism and respect for human dignity have been lost on us. That is why corruption has become so rampant in the society. For government policies to succeed, they must be people-driven and not government-driven. The National Ethics and Integrity Policy is a child of necessity. It was conceived and delivered out of the urgent need to resuscitate and rejuvenate our lost values.
Some religious leaders say the lack of accountability is fueling the distrust amongst the people and propelling leaders to abuse the power in their care.
Nigeria has never been the same for many years back now. But it's because the led and the people they are leading are not on the same page.
We must have a rethink of our activities. We must have a change of our mindset.
The leaders that we have today are the mirrors of the followers. Ibn Okoyim said, every community will get the kind of leader they deserve. We are not here to come and lampoon our leaders. We are not here to come and accuse our leaders if you don't change yourself personally.
As the election season approaches, some of those gathered here are warning that a change in orientation is needed. They say electing leaders must be done on merit so as to exert the will of the people.
We must have people of honor and people of integrity to contest for offices. And they must present their manifesto. And we must let them know that from time to time they must give account of their stewardship.
The role money plays in our elections, in politics generally, has greatly increased. Find out that candidates now, some of the candidates are not even known to the communities that they pledge to serve. If the general public, internalize the core values of the national ethics and integrity, there are actually 7 core values. If these values are internalized, by all and sundry, the role money will play in our election will drastically reduce.
The Institute of Corrupt Practices Commission is appealing to leaders here to be ambassadors of a new way of thinking so as to serve as a reference to residents. Will Sinamoni, Silverbird News 24, Lagos.
With the National Association of Road Transport Owners are protesting what they describe as extortion by the officials of the State Task Force on Apapa Gridlock and other port officials. The truck owners allege they have to pay astronomical fees to gain access to the port, as the trucks are also subjected to towing while waiting their turn.
It takes us 3 months at times for our trucks, our export trucks, to access the port. All of this, we are tired. And MPA, all of their policies are not going too well for the industry. We need a review over the terminals, terminal owner, all the terminals and MPA, the team, ATOS, TTP. We need a review. By now, extortion has been legalized in Apapa. We used to have presidential taxing. We have other navy in the era of navy. We have the same problem. Now, the problem we are having now to compare is higher compared to what we used to have in the days of presidential tax force.
The government form abandoned committee to tow any truck that is abandoned. The so-called abandon, I believe, is the vehicle that has been abandoned for some time and it's not working. But what these people are doing is that when the truck are not access the port, when they are not access the port, some people come and tow the truck and say it's abandoned.
The Tourism Master Plan and a policy which seeks to make Lagos State a top 5 tourism hub in Africa was presented to the public at the Adeyemi Bero Auditorium, Alausa, Ikeja. Speaking at the presentation, the State Governor, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy, Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, described the event as a critical step to further unlock aspects of Lagos towards becoming Africa's tourism giant.
Today's event will signal for us in Lagos a new narrative in this very important sector. And it is my belief that this public presentation of Lagos Tourism Master Plan and Policy is one that all the stakeholders in this critical sector have been yearning for and hoping to have for implementation. As many people have said, they believe that it's not just going to be presentation, but the Honorable Commissioner has shown us clearly the pathway to those implementation. We have decided to be very decisive in the implementation of all our plans, programs and policies as enshrined in what we call the team's agenda, which has been elucidated very much this morning. Since our assumption of office over 2 years ago, we have taken what we believe to be decisive steps to explore abundant possibilities in this very critical sector by giving the practitioners and key stakeholders an opportunity to be directly involved in every of our policies, including the process that has led to the development of these 2 documents being presented here today. And to now assure Mr. Folani Koka again, this is further to unlock that aspect of Lagos. Today's event is an evidence of our commitment to inclusiveness and stakeholders partnership, knowing that this sector thrives on public-private partnership and collaboration, which everybody again has mentioned. Our resolve to ensure that the production of this document came to fruition speaks to our sincere intention to better the lots of our citizens, promote ease of doing business, attract more tourists to our state, and build a domestic tourism activity in the center of excellence.
The ministry ensured that stakeholders were involved from inception of compilation and review of this document up to its final stage. It is widely known that the tourism policy of any nation or state is designed to provide a set of guidelines, rules, direction, facilitates consensus around specific vision, strategies, and objectives of given destination. Apart from this, it helps to map or pinpoint a course of action to survey decision making and forms the basis for effective structuring of an organization, while also providing direction or basic information on responsibilities and human capital utilization and deployment.
The Minister for Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who was represented at the event by the Director General, Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, Mr. Folorunso Koka, said it is time for all tiers of government in the country to deliberate on issues relating to tourism.
What is being done at the local government level must be echoed at the state government level, must be echoed at the federal level for tourism to be meaningful in Nigeria. If there's a divergence of focus, one will be walking in one direction and the other will be walking in another direction. It is important that the regulation of tourism is in line across all 3 tiers of government. It is definitely required that the taxation of the tourism industry is in line in all three tiers of government. And of course, the legislation. No Supreme Court orders between two APC states. This is a time for collaboration, not competition. If there's competition between the local, the state, and the federal government on issues related to tourism, we will find that the progress that we make will always be limited. To journalists, I must repeat again, it is time for development journalism, responsible reporting, so that we don't demarket our own state or country.
We are mindful of the numerous challenges faced by the government in some areas, but the stakeholders are reassuring you of our commitment to support the government in the best interest of the industry players. We emphatically appealed for continuous and robust discussion for the implementation of these documents.
The special advisor to the governor, Mr. Solomon Bono, noted that the master plan and policy is being conceived to provide a more holistic approach for implementation of tourism activities across the state, such that there will be uniformity and orderliness in the sector.
The updated master plan details a domestic tourism growth strategy for the ministry, which will play a significant role in the creation of Lagos as a successful tourism destination. The master plan will further transform Lagos into a major African tourism and entertainment hub by exploring and promoting the potentials that abound in the state, as well as integrating the thriving entertainment and art industry as a viable platform to attract visitors and create jobs in the state.
In other parts of the economy, we see art to be critical in terms of, investors in artwork. How do we even take some of the local artisans and then start to promote them and put them in the forefront? We also talk about the nightlife that Lagos has, right? So what can we do in terms of amplifying the activities on water? And also starting to see how we build capacity in the educational sector, because memories need to be left behind. People need to be able to speak about what we have in the film industry. And of course, I can't leave out our beloved Nollywood, because we've had major successes and we need to continue to keep it going.
Every government has to have a kind heart for its people. No wonder the Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu and Kadri Obafemi Hamzat administration is keen to ensure its people have free access to eye and ear care. This is being done by the revitalization of the Jigi Bola initiative. The Jigi Bola initiative is symbolic to its name, providing eye care for residents without the cost. The program has become an opportunity for many to get treatment and diagnostics, as the state government revealed over 200,000 residents benefited from the program in 2019, indicating a need within the populace for more eye care.
According to WHO globally, at least 2.2 million people have a rare or distant visual impairment. In at least 1 billion or almost half of these cases, visual impairment could have been prevented. In Nigeria today, according to International Center for Eye Health, it is estimated that 2.7 million adults aged 40 years and above have moderate visual impairment, and an additional 400,000 adults are severely visually impaired. 20 years ago, former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, conceived an innovation to improve the vision of those who are visually impaired. In the year 2001, Jigi Bola, an initiative born out of the concern to reduce the negative effects of preventable visual impairment on residents of Lagos State, was launched. During this program, free eye screening was administered, while free eyeglasses were given to beneficiaries. At certain times, patients with eye conditions requiring surgical operations were attended to at no cost by the Lagos State government. Today's event, therefore, is a celebration of one of the legacy grassroots outreach programs of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In addition to giving the free eye care services, this Giving Bola Remains initiative has gone a step further by distributing hearing aids.
There are many people that don't realize that they have eye defects. There are many people that don't realize that their hearing is defective. And there are so many ways in which we can correct that. And of course, many people don't have access to where we can measure your eyesight or we can measure your hearing defect. And also, some people don't have the resources even to go for a test or to buy the glasses that will so quickly rectify the problem that you are experiencing. So this kind of initiative is so important. It brings awareness, it brings relief, it brings functionality back to your life, and it is our responsibility along with all these great initiatives that we make these kinds of services available to all Lagosians, whether you can afford it or not. It is our job to provide it.
The state government is also including a hearing aid program. This, they say, is due to the clamor by residents in need of such services.
This initiative has been broadened in terms of scope to include hearing aid program, which will cater to the needs of Lagosians with hearing difficulty through the provision of hearing aids and other medical support. We understand that vision and hearing impairment can make life difficult, but could be prevented with early care and intervention. That is why we are launching the Gigi Bola initiative as a free sight and hearing aid program. The aim of this relaunch is to improve the capacity for efficient ear and ear care delivery and to ensure that Lagosians do not lose their vision and hearing when it could have been prevented. This initiative, as already stated, is open to all Lagosians, including those in the grassroots areas across the 20 local government and 37 local council development areas. The services to be offered include early detection of eye conditions that may lead to blindness, eye and ear health education, free hair surgery and treatment, and of course distribution of hearing aids and eyeglasses.
Community leaders are advocating for such services to become available at tertiary hospitals across the state.
Things that can be done, that the youth of this country, majority of them are willing and able to use their business opportunity. The government can only take out for 5 to 10% of the population. The remaining 90 is left to be given about. It is just a time bomb. God Almighty Allah will not let us see another thing.
Don't let us just have Bola Gigi alone. Let us have vision centers in every general hospital of ours, where people can go, test their eyes, and ensure that they are seeing well. Let us have ear center in every general hospital of ours, so that people can go there and test their hearing. What development economics do to measure prosperity is human development index, and it has certain components. And one of the important components that is part of what we are doing today is access to health. As you all know, health is wealth. This medical intervention is very important. If you do anything, you need your sight. You need to hear what is going on around you. And as such, we must continue to appreciate and commend Mr. Governor for his commitment, for his passion, particularly in the area of health.
Gigi Bola was a medical strategy we use for blindness prevention, was used effectively for eradication of blindness in Lagos. Of course, we use various strategies to promote
promote health and prevent diseases in Lagos.
The state government is also launching an app to enable residents interested find the nearest and most available centers as they hope to reach more residents in need. The Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu administration is only 2 years in office. Many Lagosians are already looking forward for what the next 2 years enfolds for all residents. That completes our episode for this week. Until next time, I am Wilson Amoni, and this is Lagos.